That seems just right. So here we are. Welcome everyone. DemEyesRed here. We are on Wooly Official, and this is Rise to Glory, a much anticipated 3v3 tournament. We have in front of us Suomi versus Team Heresy. And we're just gonna start on the left hand side, and this one is Lan with the Chinese. His pocket is going to be Miguel Zin. What a surprise. With the Franks though, not the Huns. And then we have Dogao with the Mainz. On the other side, we start with Zuppe. He has the Ethiopians as the flank, bottom flank. His pocket is going to be the Max with the Franks. And last but not least, we have Villesa with the Britons. Nice one. Alright, so interesting one. Very, very interesting one. We have Chinese. Why is that? Why is that? Such a slow pace, Sylvia would say, but hey, in the hands of the right player, it might be a very dangerous weapon. And in the late game, of course, a super beast of a civilization, but the start might be an interesting one because with the Chinese, I normally see, I mean, their earliest aggression on Arabia, the common one at least, in 1v1s, for instance, is a Scouts Rush, right? Not so sure if we're gonna see this one. It might be though. We've seen this in a previous series already, double scouts. But yeah, let's check it out. It's Chinese, something to pay attention to. The reason why I said Miguel Zin with the Franks and not the Huns is because yeah, we know him. He has the reputation of being a super strong pocket, and with the Huns, he has claimed a very, very prestigious title of a perfect Huns pocket player. But yeah, now it's time for something else. It's first of all time actually that a couple of sheepos about to be taken away here. Villesa, quite aggressive, very aggressive, taking that fight and winning it against Lan, who's pushed away from the hill and lost the scout war over here. Thus Villesa now not chasing anymore but sending these sheep into his base. Will Definitive Edition 2 have finished Minecraft trees? Oh yeah. Hope so. I hope so. Really. It was really enjoyable to watch them in the players' tent practicing. And, you know, just watching them playing with those cubes. It's just insane. I love it. It's really, really nice. For anyone who doesn't know, check out the VODs or basically the games in Manchester. And the perspective of the Finnish players is just beautiful. Alright then, so what do we have here? We have Chinese versus Britons, and then in the south we have Mainz versus Ethiopians. Faster fire rates versus cheaper archers. Slower paced civilization with a lot of perspectives in the late game versus the Civ with arguably one of the strongest military bonuses in the game. Massive output of the archery range with the Britons, and I've seen a couple of games with Viles and the Britons. I have the feeling that he's going to be rocking this one in case nothing happens, because he's up against Lan, who's improved quite significantly lately. I gotta be honest about this one. The previous year, not so strong. I just remember Legacy of the Huns 2 and stuff like that, but no, he has improved. And he is able to deliver some good games for sure. I'm also happy to see that he is actually performing on behalf of Heresy, knowing that it was unclear about his position in the team. I mean, not because he's been drafted out or anything like this, just his own opinion and decision concerning his future in the game and on behalf of a clan. So yeah, all in all, good news. Happy to see this. But yeah, they're up against Suomi, arguably one of the strongest teams in Age of Empires. Team chemistry could not be better. Everyone from the same country, communication-wise top-notch, idea-wise top-notch. Very talented players. On the other side though, next to Lan, Miguel Zin, super strong. Dogao, also really happy to see him. This year, very, very strong performance all in all. Has delivered some good performances in tournaments so far, and I gotta be honest, I mean, he has been away for some time due to, you know, personal things going on, education wise, and I thought, okay, maybe he's not gonna be, performing as well anymore. But no, that's not the case. He's in absolutely perfect shape, which is why I'm very, very happy to see him in this tournament as well. That's gonna be very exciting. Well, let's see what's gonna happen. So, the people are going to Field H. The first one up is Miguel Zien, and we can expect him to go for some Scouts Rush in order to help out one of his buddies over here. V-Lesser on the way to his opponent with a set of, I believe, yeah, soon to be Man-at-Arms. He's going to be going into Lance base. Oh yeah. Let's check that one out. In the south, for your information, we see... Wait a sec. Okay, pure archers. Something I'm not the biggest fan of seeing, but I guess with the Mayans and that cheaper cost, it's nice to see it. Or Zupi does a similar thing, right? To a certain extent. Pure archers in the south, okay. What else? Especially what about land here in this game? So he's gone for archers right away. Huh. Not a big fan of it, especially with his Civ. That's gonna be very, very slow, in the beginning at least. But once he got everything under control, it might be very strong. What is Vilesa doing here? Why is he going to the south? He immediately goes for Migazin, it seems. Not particularly interested into going this well-protected base, at least against Man-at-Arms. There's not much you can do. You could have taken this detour, but... well, it's not like you have the fastest unit of the game here in order to make such decisions. So instead, he just goes for Miguel Zin right away. In my opinion, decent decision. Just trying to damage the enemy as much as possible. Nice mark by Vilesa. I like to see this, that he's actually been able to kill quite some scouts here. Because you all know with the Franks and their early scouts, massive advantage with the HP. Very beefy units that you must take care of, so you're better off if you just damage them as much as possible. So for that reason, the Man-at-Arms have been sacrificed for a bigger purpose, so to speak. No real economy harassing moves so far. And Lan now going for his own aggressive move. A set of archers without any botkin yet. No one has botkin arrow. What am I saying? Fletching, I'm sorry, but you know what I mean. There we go. Fletching is now being researched here. Dogao is doing it. And he's on the way to create some damage, at least ideally. But his opponent, Zuppi, well prepared. Nice set of walling structures. And he's about to go for his own blacksmith and then fletching as well. He might be caught off guard, though I don't think that these archers will create too much of damage. Economically speaking, this wood 9 is quite, if I may say that. It will be problematic to actually harass the vills on there. Going back, also over here, Dance of Scouts. We have arguably one of the strongest booming players of this game here in this matchup. On the right hand side, Max, who's known for his dangerous booms, and also Miguel Zin on the other side. Another name, of course, that has to be mentioned amongst them is, of course, Nikov, but we have seen him earlier today. But it's really awesome to have these particular players. I'm really hyped for this one because I think they'll all be able to show their strength in some kind of way. And what else is there to be enjoyed rather than just, strong performing pocket players in the later part of the game. But until then, it is the game of the flanks, of course, to create the damage. But so far in the north, we don't see too much. Especially the KD of Lad. Wow, look at this one, right? Really passive at this point, but that has a reason. He has gone for a very, very boomy attempt over here. And at this rate, he will be able to actually go for a quick castle age. But before that one, we have an engagement very soon. Gao and Miguel Zien versus the Max. Where is the other Archers player? And that is Zupi, of course, on the way. And once that happens, there might be a chance to engage. Max has more scouts. Oh, I see Dams is there as well. This one. Great to see my Habibis in the chat. There we go. Engagement happening right now. Or is it? Because the guy was going back, but sniping quite nicely over here. He has the bigger number, obviously, as the mains he can afford it more. So Zupi is forced to actually do a lot of damage here, but he has the right sip for that one. And it seems that still Max is not doing too well here, in my opinion. Nice shots, nice snipes by Dogao. Migazin also quite fine at the moment, and Vilas a bit too late. And he's now actually going for something else. Probably going to focus on Migazin over here. Always a good choice to actually harass the potential Knights player in this game, who's also on the way to cast stage first. Interestingly, I thought that Lan might be able to do that, but he needed a bit of time. Interestingly, he has reseen the farms. I strongly assume. Doesn't he want to go for crossbows? Why that many farms? Why potentially reseeding them? Even 17 farms, going for a market. Needs to pay attention that he doesn't go crazy on the food income. Probably something he knows of himself anyway. But before anything, once again, engagement Dogao just deciding it with the numbers, making use of the civilization so nicely, in a way that Viles has no chance. He has to sacrifice his own units, and right now sitting on 14 soon-to-be crossbowmen versus Dogao's 23 soon-to-be crossbowmen. Dangerous situations might arise from that one. Let's keep that in mind. Also from Zupi we have not seen too much, but that might change at some point. Also on the way to the castle age. As I said, no one's economy got harmed in any kind of way that is to be considered as a super delay. So, good for everyone, I guess. Good for everyone. Let's check out where this is going. So, for Max, going for double stables and multiple TCs. Quite some farms also. I'm not so sure if he's going to be able to just afford that one with +2. Not going for it might be the better choice. Boom and night output. Dangerous, dangerous. But, you know, we're looking at the masters of booming over here. I mean, Arabia booming, if you know what I'm saying. Also from Migazin, we see multiple TCs. But less farms. So it might be that Max potentially has better output rate at some point, but we'll see how much that is going to be of relevance. Nice to see that the farms are not being reseeded. I'm personally relieved. But regardless, TCs are going to be added. Evidently with the archers. Nice to go for a boom, as the units not have a direct impact on the food economy. So let's see where this is going. Exactly, guys. Type in !_ raffle to participate. We'll be able to get a... you will be able to participate in the raffle to get a Steam key for Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition for free. Subscribers get double the chances. Right. So it seems that Heresy having a good time over here, being the ultimate aggressors. Feels so unnatural to see Max in the red color, doesn't it? Alrighty then. Dogao up here together with Lan. I mean, they're all focusing on Max now. That might be extremely dangerous, but Zupi is there in time. We might be able to do something here, but where is Ville? Also on the way. Quite some units here, 50 units VS 42. And also home advantage for Team Suomi. And the engagement starting right now. Here we go. Taking that hill is the ultimate premise for the crossbows, and it might be perfect for Heresy over here in a way that Suomi cannot engage without any trouble. Yeah, I am live. I am live. I am a real existing person, and I can see your messages. It's not a record. Living. Algamestari, man, long time no see. Great to see that many people in the chat. Great to see that this whole tournament is getting some attention. Awesome stuff. We are in the quarterfinals of Rise to Glory, a 3v3 tournament. And this week we'll see even more quarterfinals games, semifinals, and the grand final. The later parts will be entirely live. And the numbers here currently also winning this one. As they're taking the downhill fight, Suomi is going for it. Max also going for an important move, claiming the hill and cleaning up everything that Dogao has put there. But that's not the whole story, because Heresy with a second plan that is currently working, and Zopi is being doubled here by a set of 24 crossbowmen. But they know that at some point Max could appear and deal with that, because they've lost the fight over here. I mean, well, lost the fight. I mean, it has ended. That is all. No economy harmed once again. It's very nice to see how the economies are kept safe. That's not only because of good defenses, but that's also because of wise decisions, very, very careful decisions. They could have gone in here and killed way more vills. But as all the players have, you know, played this quite slow approach, they've been able to place TCs, but only Villa here currently with this situation. Also, the one with the lowest amount of villagers. So, he has 2 TCs right now, if I see that correctly. He has estimated this one as not adequate enough for another TC to protect himself. And that cost him a couple of villagers. Which is not ideal. He might be the weakest link currently. Score says something else. Max also quite far behind, but that is not true actually. He has an insane amount of knights at this stage, 25 versus just 12 of Miguel Zien. Lan going for the next stage, and that is a Chinese player we're talking about. More and more archer ranges, we see a siege workshop. Very soon Vilas is going to be struggling against that one. He needs assistance, he needs some kind of way to deal with that. Also his economy in shambles currently, a lot of gold, not enough wood. There we go. All 3 Finnish players now teamed up here. A super dangerous army consisting of 83 units in total. And they will all focus on Miguel Zien now. Let's see if Dogao is going to be able to help out. He actually retreats at this point, knowing that it might be too dangerous to do anything. Probably just an idea of Miguel Zien that they should just allow him to come closer first of all. And catch them in a bad way later. But how can they solve the issue? Ooh, this opening over here. Max now able to squeeze in. And he will be starting with the harassment. And he can just go in there. Normally you would say it's way too dangerous. But if you know that your other 2 team members are around here, that will be quite a safe kill here incoming. And that's that. I mean, Miguel Zien is on the way to the next stage. So is Max though. If you look at the numbers, Miguel Zien with 37 idols, 88 villagers, and decreasing. Max completely safe for now. Very, very important move. Economically deciding and killing these, you know, damaging and destroying these stables. You know, why not? Why not? Just, you know, reduce the output rate for now. Just reduce it. Let's see. In order to participate, guys, you need to type in !raffle to win an Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition key. Only followers can participate, double the chances for subscribers. So that was an interesting approach over here, but now, since Lan is in PLH for a longer period of time, they will correctly anticipate that he is on some arbalists. Here we are, very soon with chemistry. So their damage output is quite on a maximum level. for which Team Suomi needs to prepare themselves. Also now the transition into Plumed Archers by Dogao. We all know how it goes with them. Takes some time to actually mass them up with the castles to also improve their strength, all the technologies. And once you got that one going, you have some super flexible unit that can harass the opponents quite conveniently if done correctly. And in the hands of a skilled player like Dogao, I can see that happening. Yeah, chivalry. Let's see how much that is gonna have an impact, because, in my opinion, not many players who can deal with that one correctly. But I guess with these people involved, it'll work. My favorites to use chivalry in games are Viper and Melkor. Well, let's see. Probably these guys are also able to deal with that in their own ways quite nicely. So what about Villa now? Because he won't be able to protect himself for a long time. And he's been tripled. Galzin's economy, not the best, actually. But the one of Vilas is actually worse. Okay, now some sponsoring. More food income very soon. Also the forwards move of Zupi here. Catching Dogan not entirely off guard. But it could lead to something over here. Monks with the castle. Quite an accomplishment here to think about this one, you know, going for a defensive move, thinking about the offense as well. Very, very good. Very important. Yeoman also for Ville. Paladin for Max. Galzin also going for Paladin. 30 seconds of difference between the two. Miguelzin might have an opening with that one. Ooh, denial of castle also over here. Very unfortunate. But also, you know, not that he has protected that one, did he? And Zopi is being pushed back. He's not able to actually make the key move over here. I mean, siege rams are very important against Mayans, especially in a war in which you will engage with your own set of ranged units like that. Wow, look at this amount of variables, by the way. But yeah, these rams need to go back. And they need to snipe some patterns, man. Also engagement over here, massive engagements. That's very interesting. It's just, look at this. Engagement over here, engagement over there. I feel that this could be way more lethal, but also Zupi is in a situation in which you can snipe the patterns. Wow, he's been given enough time to actually wall this up. Very, very important. Very, very important. And it might be that the patterns are not going to make the difference, but the reason why they're still staying here, they want to actually get rid of the rams. Just to make sure that they won't be striking back, right? With brute force, they're actually gonna try to get these siege workshops up to pressure Zupi even more. Whereas in the north, it's a slow approach by Suomi here. They're just cleaning up the siege workshops, basically resulting in a similar situation that they want to they want Zupi to be in. But Zupi is far more in danger if it continues like that. I love the fact how he's walling this one up. He is the architect of his team. In case you haven't watched that Oasis game of him and his team against Aftermath 1.5 months ago, you better do that. The architect, able to wall this one up without suffering major damage here. Very, very important. But I feel that Heresy got this at this point. Suomi way too defensive. Way too defensive. And the output rate of Miguelzin seems to be overwhelming, doesn't it? Max with 37 units, Miguelzin with 50. We see more patterns from the Brazilian player. That is going to be a complicated situation, because now both flanks in favor for Heresy here. Extremely strong performance. Happy to see that land also contributes to that one quite nicely. Keeping a very, very high number of arbalists that will make it very difficult for Max to engage. And this might be the game for Heresy. Suomi is not able to actually have an impact. The way they utilize their armies only in a defensive way. And this one seems way more lethal. From the beginning on, it was evident that Villa was behind. For a variety of reasons, of course. And that is going to be the game decider. The reason for that, ultimately, of course, the trade route will be significantly harmed because of this very move by Team Heresy. Exactly. With both Dogao, the Big Dog, and Migazinho. Very, very tough to deal with them in the late game. Even though, I mean, don't get me wrong, Suomi are also known for late games. Because they are just super, super... Oh, how to say it? Just incredible stamina that they have. So they could easily withstand that when it comes to just, you know, endurance here. But it seems lethal what they're doing right now. I mean, look at Villa here. 8 military units, 85 villagers, 20 of which are idle. Not looking ideal at all. And I'm expecting a GG very soon. GG very soon, but this is not the end. This is a best of 5, my friends. There's a lot of games to go for. This is just the first one. Just the first one. I like how Zuppi is performing very, very strong. Though he has lost the majority of his... he hasn't actually lost anything, man. He's delivering a very good fight. If I just analyze the numbers correctly here, it is, you know, strong stuff. But in the end, GG, much expected because of this very issue. I mean, ultimately, this very issue. It's a mixture of reasons for their loss here. But I feel that Villa could have... I don't want to blame it on the map. I understand why he didn't put the TC over here in the beginning, you know, to protect himself. Because this wood line, he estimated this one to be too little. He instead went for this TC as a second one, very out of place. Was not able to defend himself. And it was a constantly rising pressure from Heresy like that. They just made use of it. It was a very, very smart gameplay of Heresy. And despite the efforts, Suomi was not able to do something against this. And that is the first win for Team Heresy. So, GG, next. And we are now on migration, friends. Let's start. This time in the north, we have Zuppi with the Japanese as the flank. Pocket is going to be Max with the Malay. The other flank on the right hand side is going to be Villa with the Italians. On the other side, we have Dogao with the Italians as well. So Italians were on the right hand side. Pocket, Migazin once again, this time with the Huns. Oh, I know what this could be about. Left hand side Malay with Lan. Interesting that he has spawns the edge of this map. Might be an advantage for him. We'll see about this one. So, if we look at this one over here with the Huns, that is the one civ that might seem out of place here, which is actually not the case. Huns can do their stuff on water as well. They save wood like there's no tomorrow. But they're also known for either debating people into, you know, making them think that actually they land, or they just land. And they can take over the main map really easily. This is migration. What that means is that you start on this little island, you have limited amount of resources, you jump over, you take over the main island where you got the juicy part. Once again, as usual, shoutouts to Dracons. And the one who claims the map in the middle, of course, profits in the end, at least ideally speaking. Well, that one serves like, well, You could go for Spanish. We've seen that one already. You can go with Conquistadores, and they just rule, dominate. But with Huns, similar things could happen. You could go for, well, basically anything you want. For Knights, you could go for Cathar, just depending on what you can expect on the other side. But the Italians on the right hand side is going to be also very, very crucial over here. Both civs are known for their fast up times. But I think having the Malay flank as well might be very, very useful. It's even more interesting that Max says Malay, but is in the middle, right? So what could that be about? Is he gonna go for some boom? Is he going to help out his buddies on the side? Are they gonna go for a full water approach? You're gonna find out. Check out the dock positions. So Zupi is definitely gonna engage. He has the Japanese, very nice water civilization. Lan also here with a forward dock, so he's also ready for war. And it doesn't surprise me to see this one here either. So all good, all safe. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it, because Doga on water, I'm sure he has a couple of tricks ready. Villa on water, I've also seen some very, very strong games of him, considering the water. Well, that is going to be interesting. Zupi, definitely, probably one of the most underrated water performances that I've seen during ECL, for instance. He always did the hard and dirty work, fought till the very end. Countless games I remember, which was just, on the side, taking apart one player constantly, while the others did, the more appreciated things, such as landing and doing the fancy stuff, if you know what I'm saying. So let's see. Yeah, but yeah, with the Malay, I am really, really curious what's going to happen. The dog is on the right hand side, so if he was to help out, I would strongly assume... Ooh, look at this. Wait a sec, is he just gonna go for a boom? Why would you place this dog over here then, right? There's no particular reason for this one, unless you don't know. Well, he now knows that he is in a situation where he's not gonna have the biggest fish. With Malay, of course, fish in the later part of the game is not the biggest issue because of their nice bonus. Though, I just wonder if he just wants to help out Villa here, right? So just double on Dogao. But wouldn't that neglect the danger of Migazin here? Because I expect Migazin to drop on this island first and do some stuff there. Prevent any potential autonomy approaches from Suomi. We might just jump over. We'll see. Max might just jump over. Villa up first. That is actually significantly faster than Nogao here. And that is going to give him some big advantage. What I love to see about short distance water wars is home advantage is not really a thing, because you can reinforce so fast that the only thing that might surprise you are a couple of demos, So let's see. Villa is now going for the right hand side, by the way. He expects this one to be connected, but actually, well, he's going to find out about this. The shortcut over here, you could directly engage over there. Left hand side. Let's see who's going to be up first with some drama material. It's actually Zupi. That is actually... wait a sec. That is also up, of course. Just misread there. Up now. I thought that he's going to be up way later. It's all good. But it still seems that Zupi might have the upper hand. Both pairs are going on the right hand side. Going to the right hand side. Interestingly. Yagazin definitely going for some fast castle approach. Both pockets with an insane amount of economy contributing units, bills, and fishing boats. And yeah, this doesn't surprise me at all, to be honest. I'm landing. Question is that going to happen on the other side as well? Because Max doesn't have any transport currently. Okay, a bit of a back and forth. So far, no bloods, or in this case, no wood been shed in the water. Very interesting. Max is actually taking Loom before he's going up. Because Zin is up without Loom. He has landed successfully, dropping a dock as well. And the water war has started. The water war has started. Right inside now. Quite aggressive approach. Villa with the demo. Nice connection. Seems that he might win this little fight over here. That can lead up to a snowball situation if done correctly. But demo rafts are there to save the day. The reason for Villa to actually disengage. Correct anticipation. Nice reaction time. Lovely stuff. Lupi also with the rather offensive moves. At least from land we don't see too much yet, but the reason for that one is he's just regrouping, repairing, and then he's going to engage once again. Well, here we go. He goes in on the way to Castle Age. And Max is gonna, yeah, he's gonna be able to catch up though, easily. I believe that he's gonna click up once he is done with this one. And there we go. There we go. Yeah, indeed up earlier, a minute earlier, due to the melee bonus. So, still, I am curious what he's gonna do. He has landed equally to Migazin, but definitely later. And we see already the stables going up. That might be just a couple of knights dominating early on. And we don't know melee for their knight domination, do we? So I really wonder how that's gonna go. The melee pick is an interesting one. The max is also not on stone or anything like this. There's not gonna be a castle anytime soon. At least from what I see currently. We'll be doing a great job on water. Land is not going to be able to withstand, at least for now. But it's different on the right hand side because Dogao is delivering a good fight here. Finally some Loom, by the way. For the Brazilian player, Migazin. So what else is on the menu for these players? The reason why he doesn't have stone is potentially because he has sold it. Yeah, you can already participate in the raffle, guys. Type in ! raffle for Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition Steam Key. And I'm gonna choose the winner after this series. It's 1-0 for now, so we have a long way to go. It's a best of 5. Yeah, this is already a good move by Miguel Zin. Just making sure that he claims the area already. Huh. Okay. Interesting, this one here. Not entirely sure where this is gonna go. What Max does here, but fair enough. And yeah, still the same situation on the left hand side. The right hand side is, I believe, the most exciting battle, but now it seems that Vila has everything under control. Or is it 12 fireboats, fireships, vs just 6? Okay, that looks really good for the Finnish player. But yeah, Migazin, instead of doing anything else but just dropping TCs, drop the TCs, make it impossible to claim for Max. That might backfire really hard for the Finnish players, because this will be very annoying to deal with. Very annoying. So very good move by Heresy so far. But the water situation might be also very crucial, because what are you gonna do if one of your teammates is entirely surrounded? It's a good thing that land is already on the other island, because if Zupi was all over the place, Lan would be taken out of the game easily. But he's not going to allow that. He's actually completely... No, not completely, but he's migrating quite heavily here. Yeah, you see the fishing count over here, guys. We have 23 fishing boats for Max, 21 for Migazine. And speaking of Max now, on the way to Imperial Age, Lan is still in Feudal Age. And that's going to change right now. There we go. He took his time. He took his time, and that is enough time for Zupi to actually go for galleys now. War galleys, that is. So both fire ships and, of course, war galleys going to be on the menu from him. So let's see where this is gonna go, because in theory it looks grim for the Spanish player here. So how is Lan gonna deal with that? Probably, I don't want to say he has given up on it, but he's definitely, yeah, no, he's actually giving up here on this one entirely. He's actually moving away from this island. It's not good. But then again, your teammate has made it possible for you to go on the promised land to seek shelter in the middle. So I am not entirely sure how impactful it's going to be to leave your main islands. There's extra resources. In theory, Zupi could claim it. Also, Dogao is doing really bad on water now. I mean, he has also given up on that one, as it seems. Also migrating a lot, but look at this. Look at this. This is Heresy. All over the place, Heresy. And what does Suomi have at this point? This area? For real? The castle here on that hill? I mean, only this area is left, and then they have everything. In theory, but they don't have water. So, this might be a prime example for us to see, result-wise, what can happen if you don't have any water, but if you have all the land. What could be the result of that one? Yeah, indeed, I agree. It's a weird approach that they, quote, neglect the land. Even though I don't even need to put quotes there, quotation marks. Because they neglect the land for sure. But they have all the water. They have all the water. Look at this. As the saying goes, the one who has the water wins the game. But on migration, the rules are slightly different. Because you have all the juicy part in the middle, all that gold, all the wood, stone. Yeah, there's no gold on water, is it? Barracks now. Interesting. I mean, we have Italians in both teams. Think about it. Look at that imp from Miguel. Why should I? Why should I, if Max is an imp already? But yeah, of course, it's going to matter a lot, because you have the player with the castle in the middle, very soon able to pump out trebuchets if needed. Well, let's see, let's see. And economy-wise, it might not be that different, right? Look at these numbers. I mean, the food economy of Max is insane. But then again, gold-wise, it will be very, very troublesome. Halberdier. It's the first time we see someone else but Max landing on the main island. Immediately with the monastery, we see Tarkans. Tarkans. And also cav archers by Migazine. One more barracks. really. Nice economy by land as well. I mean, he is building himself up more than the others from the other team. He'll, with 60 units, 69 for Zuppi, economy-wise. Buga is also quite low in that concern. Also the middle, not the middle, but his starting island under massive pressure. He might lose a lot of vills here. Suomi could go full trade clerk, right? Well, I guess they could. They're not doing it yet, though. See the first conditor in the making for the Finnish player. So let's see. Also castle now. So one thing to also keep in mind is, I don't know how much that's gonna matter that you have Thalassocracy, right? You have the water already anyway. Doesn't make sense to surround the entire island with docks. Doesn't placing his own docks, but they're being denied entirely. And be careful about this melee late game. Forced Levi is nice in theory, but if you can get there, right? This castle under pressure now. Some accurate Huns. Trebuchet is also prepared. That's a tough situation all in all. It seems very profitable for Heresy, I would say. But I wonder how much of a risk they're taking neglecting the water like that. For real, look at the water stats of Heresy here. Non-existent. There's just a single fire ship, fire galley that is, from Heresy. Quick walls here to protect the trebuchets, but still not so entirely sure how much that is going to be helpful. Castle about to go down from Max. What else? What else? I want to see how Suomi is going to work with this little amount of space. Also surprises me that land is actually given the chance to claim the gold over here. Something I wouldn't have thought. Looking tough. Looking very tough. And yeah, condottieri are a nice idea, but if you don't have the output rates, if you don't have the space to work with, you won't be able to claim that land, as it seems. Right? Now judging by whatever we catch here. The approach to attack from the sides, from the borders, currently not working, if I can estimate this like that. At least for now. I wonder how long this game is gonna go. I wonder when... I mean, I don't know who's gonna win this, right? I wonder what is gonna make either side call it GG, so to speak, because... I mean, imagine that. You have all the resources in the middle, but what if you have no way to actually go on water? And what if the other team is on the water? I mean, they cannot reach each other, so to speak, right? Who's gonna resign then? Who's gonna resign then? The questions to be asked. No wonder. Yeah, I guess the settings are on Conquest. But good idea, very good idea. Didn't think about this. I like it. I like it. Look at this chaotic move over here. Is that a wise choice of Miguel Zim? The score says that Suomi is having a better time here. Yeah, if you look at the economy though, villager-wise, I mean, look at this economy from the water. But yeah, land unit-wise, dominance by Heresy, very little space. Is wood maybe gonna decide everything? There is a lot of wood, but what if you cannot claim it, right? So at this stage, I'm really curiously waiting. Thalassocracy from land. I wonder. I mean, there's this idea now that you have the harbors shooting. But for that one, you need a couple of harbors to work with. And look at this whole picture. This is Heresy. And all the surrounding. I mean, not entirely. Just this northern part. Mostly. Suomi here. Also, Max is landing here to make sure that this little island, Fugao, is being taken away. At this stage, guys, I'm just waiting myself for something to happen really significantly. I mean, as a matter of fact, Heresy trying their best to actually hold the main island. See the paladin upgrade from Miguel Zin. They just want to make sure that Suomi has no chance. And we see the harvest finally going up here. That might be a changer here. Those harbors, they've led to a lot of Suomi wins in the past. And why shouldn't it work for Heresy, right? Currently working like a... Working really nicely. So we'll see. The idea of Suomi is to also take the other islands. Currently it's just Lan who holds his island the best. But that is all. I mean, you see all this blinking going on. It's just on the outside, nothing inside, because there's no way to actually go through that. But they have good ideas. And it's not like Suomi is playing a game that they're not used to. For now, it even seems like a nomad type of situation, right? And who else than the beloved Suomi people seen as suitable for a situation like this, right? Then again, though, Heresy playing it also really nicely. Really, really nicely. But look at the gold count. I'm just saying, look at this. Look at the food count, look at the gold count. Then look at the gold count of Heresy here. A lot of extra gold. There's currently 37k gold on the map, right? Most of which being in the center. And look at this beautiful game of Telesocracy War. The new meta of Age of Empires. Harbors shooting down each other. And denying siege workshops casually. And it's GG. There we go. Interesting. So, what does that mean? Let's make an inductive mistake here and say that if you claim the middle of migration, you win the game despite having lost the water, because there's no proper gold income for your opponents, and most importantly, there's no space to work with, especially if you just save the area with castles, your own harbors, your towers, and you got all the juicy middle with all the juicy wood and all the nice gold and stone. Well, chances are limited. Chances are very limited. Top score and still GG. Yeah, it's wow. What about water trading? Well, we haven't seen it. I believe. How complicated would that be? To drop your harbors over here? or your dogs, and then you send the trade cogs, right? In between, there might be a couple of castles that might be very, very annoying, but would they ultimately deal with that one? Here we are. That's game number 3 here. We are on Oasis. I love to say, keep in mind that on this map, the amount of wood is less than on regular Oasis. And this time we start over here. Well, it's still the northern side. And let's go to the south. Want it like this. We have Zuppi as the right-hand side flank. The Celts. Lovely. The pocket is going to be Max with the Persians. And the left-hand side flank, Villesa with the Mayans. The other team with Dogao Ethiopians on the left-hand side. Pocket position Ghazian with the Indians. And then Lan with the Mongols on the very right-hand side of his team. Well, a 3-hour game incoming. Why would you say something like this? I say you have all the reasons to actually assume this because, well, with Suomi, we've seen games like that, haven't we? Long games. And we have good civilizations as well. With the Celts, of course, you prepare yourself for the late game. A lot of siege might be possible. Persians, though, well, that's going to be interesting. As the flank, well, it's a camel civilization, if you can call it like this. On the other side, we have a pure camel civilization as well. With the Indians. And then left-hand side, what's that going to be? Mayans versus the Ethiopians. Celts versus Mongols. Two completely different civilizations who would say in the later part it might be very interesting to see how that's going to behave. You have the siege sniping Mongols. But what is this? There is no rewrite. Okay. Nice. Yeah, the civs are definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. I always have troubles with the Celt start here. The Celts late game is going to be brilliant. We've seen the other Heresy team also with Celts. I believe it was Nilly. Previously here in this tournament. And he actually delivered some very, very impressive fight there. It was really enjoyable to watch. But it also requires a lot of aggression here to make it work. What I'm talking about is, for instance, man-at-arms towers. That could be really awesome. But before that, let's just witness Lan's attempt to deny the boy lure. And lovely, lovely. Don't mess around with the Zuppi. Yeah, very nice, very nice. I love it. Because with Zuppi, you have a, I don't know, key veteran of this game who's probably lured 1 or 2 boys more than his opposition. So he's not to be messed with. Already some deaths, by the way. Over here, first of all. Got this one here. Oh, still being sniped. 3 deaths. God. So much blood been shed already. We left with a great start. Great start. Really nice. Looking exceptional. Well, that's a good start, I would say. Dogao, it's more of a terrible start. First players to click up. Keep in mind that Miguel Zin is also on the way to the next stage. Identical to Lan, the uptime. So I reckon that we'll have some scouts play here very soon. Let's see where this is gonna go. And for Zuppi, it's indeed gonna be men-at-arms. Militia already in the making. Fast-paced militia, fast-paced infantry. Let's see if he's gonna pair it with towers for maximum aggression. Now I'm going for similar things. Very, very unexpected if you ask me with the Mongols. But hey, let's go. Also made arms. Mongols made arms. Is this life? Well, I am alive. That is what you want to know about me. And here we are. And now on the way. Check that one out. I'm just wondering, Villa is actually also walling up here ambitiously. Max also joining the game with his own stable. Now the aggression starting, question mark. Lan took his time. He will not be able to just go through here. He could, of course, try to batter down the palisades, but maybe it's a better idea to just go for Max right away. Speaking of which, he wants to go for the left-hand side. Together with Ville's attempt with his men-at-arms. Could be able to snipe a Ville. Ooh, ooh, ooh. There we go. Take this one. Not doing it. While reacting in time. Keeping everything safe in an already grim situation. Right then. Lan indeed actually shifting the focus over here. Understood that he will not be able to deal the damage needed. Also over here. Successful harassment here. 4 men-at-arms, by the way, from Zuppi. So I find that Suomi is doing a great job here in the beginning. Definitely more successful with the aggression. Quick walls of Max already on point. Walling himself up. Going for his own set of scouts. From Yazin, actually the same procedure. But currently the scouts utilized in order to defend his body over here. Dogao is still under massive pressure. And it's nice how the men-at-arms are actually able to gain the scouts players' attention like that. Wow. That was actually a terrible fight here from Lan. Well done by Max, actually. Now he has enough units to go forward and harass opponents, if done successfully. And I would say Lan has, or offers, chances to be harassed with this kind of base that he has. No sign of any kind of wall, due to the immediate aggression of position. And from Villa, the super ambitious walling was successful in the end, resulting in a very convenient spot that he is in, with archers, cheap archers of the Mayans. He's gonna have a good time being the aggressor. Also from Dogao, no real sign of defense. That's gonna be a very, very weak wall here if he ever goes there. I like how Lan's come-up plan is fast enough though. The transition into archers was quite fluently, in a way that Max is not able to go for aggression, but rather needs to defend. And ideally, from his point of view, snipe the archers, but he has low HP scouts. It's working though, especially because no one has fletching yet. The first one is actually Dogao now, who's prepared 7 archers on the way. And of course, Viles, best advice to actually wall this one up with houses as well, but easier said than done. That's gonna take some time. What does he know, by the way? Does he already know about this ambitious walling? Well, he could, of course, scan the area. Yeah, he has the idea of stonewalling actually here. Very interesting. Once again, fire rate versus numbers. And the numbers are currently winning easily. That was a very, very good fight of Villa. Very poor fight from Dogao. Might be forced to go for skirmishes, and he is indeed doing that. That's gonna mess up with his economy. He has 7 vills on gold. Go forward, fletching and the archer production. Walling over here from Lan still ongoing. He does a great job actually getting the attention that he can afford and successfully finish the walling over here with his constant military output, with the help of Migazin, of course. Max on the way to the next stage, 19th minute. Scouts into knights, most likely, or now later on potentially camels, depending on the situation he is in. A lot of farms that he adds as well. I reckon that we'll see a couple of TCs being added very soon as well. He goes for scaleboarding. Doesn't have bloodlines yet. Villa ultimately pushed away because of the skirmishes, but he has also forced his opponent to go for the food output, resulting in a potentially slower Castle Age uptime. Villa also hasn't clicked up yet though. Well, look at this. Still not entirely decided. The whole situation is completely open. The left-hand side is completely stable, I would say, for Team Suomi. Right-hand side, due to the lack of walls from Zuppi, Architect, it's still possible for Heresy to go in through and attack the opponents wherever they don't expect it. But for that very reason, Max has walled himself up, as Zuppi has surely communicated that there's a huge opening on the right-hand side. We have this very interesting walling architecture, the pocket player of Finland. Great stuff, great stuff. And yeah, as expected, Villa has clicked up first in comparison to Dogao, who's still behind. He has invested more, kills on gold. But now it seems calm. It's just that Heresy tries to find a spot where they could attack, but, you know, a lot of archers, soon to be crossbowmen, a lot of knights here now. At least in comparison to the army of, 3 scouts, but maximum efficiency here from the Brazilian player. Could maybe even snipe that Will. Successful. Making the best out of it, I'd say. But the situation, correctly anticipated by Miguel Zin, immediately going for camels instead of anything else. And it surprises me, but Tugao is nearly entirely successful with this stonewalling attempt. That might require a siege workshop or something else to actually go through this. The schedule concerning this tournament is the next stream is going to be on Thursday, 18 GMT, for the remaining quarterfinals games. Just for you to know. That's actually closed, as it seems. And I cannot believe that these, oh my god, man, they snapped another Vil. These are hero scouts, man. I cannot believe it. Another villager. Wow. It's the best of 5. Alright then. The semis and finals, the grand finals are going to be alive, apparently. So I was saying that siege could be nice. Bit too late. A bit late. But at some point, still able to go through, I assume. I strongly assume. So far, not entirely impressive from both teams here. The performance in the mid game, as they've been successfully avoiding each other's castle age aggression so far. This might be the first opening and resulting in a major engagement between the two teams. A nice composition consisting of crossbowmen and mounted units. Theoretically, I would reckon that Heresy's team is more superior with this composition, as we have camels versus the knights, but also mangonels on both sides. And I appreciate to see how they're making use of this hill. resulting in the retreat of Suomi for now. On the right hand side, crossbows versus crossbows, no sign of siege, right? Yeah, pretty much. Very interesting as they're going for multiple TCs on both sides. The investment of wood therefore very, very significant, but also forward siege workshop regardless. I mean, with the Zupi and the Kels, it's going to be awkward, the transition that he has to go through in the later part of the game. For now, he can make use of his crossbowman. That's no long-term option for him. Whereas Lan, well, he could continue like that. He has to for now anyway, as long as he doesn't have castles ready. That's one thing. Now the push of Heresy on the left-hand side. That might be a juicy mangonel shot or two even incoming. We'll check it out. Gotta keep those mangonels at safe distance. Okay, that was somewhat successful, I guess. Even more this one. Both teams able to deal with each other's crossbowmen, even though I think Vilas did a great job avoiding those shots. Upper hill advantage for Dogao though. Oh, not ideal, not ideal. Wow. Good shots here. And also, let's keep in mind that Heresy is the aggressor over here. And currently Villa is about to get wrecked if it continues like that. The reason for him to give up on these archer ranges, at least for a bit, focusing on new archer ranges and a siege workshop to deal with these mangonels especially. He needs more than that. There are also camels. Let's keep in mind that +2 translates into +3 because of the Civ bonus. Even tankier camels that the Indians have. And the additional mangonels keep Lan busy. But are we gonna witness something that we've seen in the previous series? In a situation where the right hand side is more or less a stalemate, and the left hand side is going to be focused by two players, resulting in one oppositional player to be taken out of the game? I'm not entirely sure because Zupi is actually having a very, very good time. He keeps Lan more than just busy. He harasses him literally. And that is going to harm the Spanish players' economy to a certain extent. But if you look at the economy, 65 wills to... no, that's 62 of Villa here. 86, man. Beautiful, beautiful Celts economy. But yeah, this amount of camels is more than scary for Migazin. He has all the upgrades that he needs. Maybe even Iron Castle, and then it would be super aggressive. Defensive castle forced. Heresy about to take the lead like that. So we still see knights by max, which I find very curious. I mean, obviously his camels will not withstand massive crossbowman fire, but he will not be able to engage with this army here unless he has a nice set of longs. Not too close. Or should I say magis. Nice dudes. But yeah, not looking too nice on the left hand side. The right hand side though better for Suomi. As Lan is not able to deal with this one. Castle about to go up, and that might be the perfect opening for this transition that Zupi needs to go. As I assume that he will not produce too many crossbowmen anymore. As a matter of fact, he has clicked up. So did Max and Migazin. And that could result in various strategical changes. Even though for Migazin he will just proceed. Heavy camels, maybe even Imperial camels. As soon as possible. More and more stables to be upped. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a tough one. It's Heresy's match point game. Oh yeah, let's see. And indeed, scale mail armor for Zopi and Pikeman. So he's gonna be helps in siege. He's gonna be going into that one. That will be very, very demanding for land because he needs to micro that. But is that gonna matter if you have a 2v1 situation currently going on? I mean, obviously Max is preparing for this massive engagement now. But he's trying to buy himself a bit more time, going for plate botting and cavalier upgrades. Obviously patterns would be very, very good. He's also preparing himself for the sling. Getting Carnage needs to give Villa a bit of a lift here. Who's quite low on the will count. Just like land though. So Villa just needs to survive. Easier said than done. Should Mangadai counter half siege? Yeah, obviously, especially once you got part in tactics. Definitely. But microing this one could be awkward. 3-3, I'm not so sure. It will be demanding. Very demanding. Currently, something more demanding is the situation for Ville. I mean, you now have +5 on these counts, right? So they will just laugh at the arrow fire like that. Not too serious for them. Quite tanky. Imperial Camel about to be researched as well. If you look at the Camel and the Cavalier numbers, it's 40 Camels versus 30 Cavaliers. I reckon that Gazin might be taking over here with the ease. Together with the help of Dogao, who's also going for Imperial Age. Villa, on the other hand, but what is he doing? He doesn't have the chance to click up at all. He cannot even think about this. 53 vills versus 95, by the way. Land did a very, very great job to actually hold the ground, making sure that Zupi is actually not able to go through here. He himself has built up the stone defense now, just in case, not to be surprised, but I don't know if that's the big idea. At least he's taking out one player, right? Both players on the right hand side are busy with each other. Left hand side, definitely in favor for Heresy. And now we got them Imperial Camels. This is very, very problematic. I mean, what you gonna do? I mean, don't get me wrong, but I still don't understand why heavily insisting on Cavaliers like this. Like I've said in the previous matchup, you just want to ignore the Camels then? Okay, I get this, you don't want to fall into their game. But what if you cannot just simply answer to this one? And that is currently the case, isn't it? Because what is Max waiting for? Probably he wants to save up for pattern upgrades. There we go. And now he needs so much more time. It's 2 minutes. He needs 2 minutes. He is in this situation, needs 2 minutes before engaging. And that might be even a bad fight. You know. And I also assume once Dogao is in the next stage, he might just immediately go for Arbalest, positions his army over here, and that was a trade. That would be just 3-0, right? It's match point game, keep this in mind. Best of 5. Zupi is playing really nicely here. Lan, in my opinion, as well. And Zupi now even investing. Be able to actually give Max some help. Max actually ignoring this army here? I don't think that's gonna be too nice. I mean, look at Villa, man. Fully retreating over here. And the army of imp camels just inside of your base, inside of your territory, able to actually do whatever they wish. Now we got the Arbalest, very soon with chemistry. I mean, now, if Togar messes up his army, the patterns of Max will even start to struggle. At least they got the Persians bonus, don't get me wrong. That's, of course, awesome. But it's just, you know, together with the Imperial Camels, I don't see too much hope here. I mean, of course, if you got a lot of Paladins versus Imp Camels, fine. But you know, that's not the whole picture. The whole picture consists of more Imp Camels here, 60 to be precise, versus 26 and decreasing numbers of Paladins. That's more than unfortunate here, but Suomi is about to lose it. Something must happen. And I believe that it must be all about Zuppi here right now. He needs to get the attention of the entire team, which means that he casually needs to go from here till here. If he manages this one in time, it might be an equalizing situation. This is more than utopic, considering how the game is developing at this stage. Exactly, Zuppi needs to push faster, but at the same time, he understands that he needs to help out over here as well, because, you know, it's a 3v2 situation now. Villa on 39 villagers. Hugely problematic. Now a couple of money shots maybe incoming, but I don't think so. I really don't think that this is going to make the change. There we go, we have the push now. This is something that LAN will most likely not survive if this game went on for that long. And probably this is what Zuppi is telling them, hold on. Don't give up yet. But the trade is about to be taken out of the game. Very, very important castle. Another one needs to be dropped over here. Then the trade can be saved for now, but once again, they're losing so much territory over here. They have approximately 35% of the map in their hands. As mentioned, the push of Zuppi, successful, but very, very slow. And I don't really want to blame him here. He is doing everything correctly in my opinion, but what can he do to stop this one here? Have a casual amount of 48 Imp Camels. The castle being taken out. At some point, Max is going to say, well, I cannot withstand this pressure anymore. It's just simply too much. And it's GG. It is GG. Let's put this into perspective. Probably one of the strongest teams have lost to Heresy A here. And that doesn't mean that Heresy, you know, is a bunch of weak players, which is the opposite if you have listened to what I've said in the beginning of this series. I think quite the opposite of these players. But it is most impressive to deliver a 3-0 against probably the strongest team when it comes to team performance in Age of Empires, right? Except maybe Secret, but I still think that Suomi is up there, especially in 4v4s. 3v3s, also very, very strong thing for Suomi. They couldn't do it. They simply couldn't do it. Team Heresy wins 3-0 against Suomi. In my opinion, something one can be proud of from Heresy's perspective. So congratulations to them. It's a well-deserved win here. They fought really bravely, really strong. Interesting game number 2, which might be a key mistake in the plan of Suomi here to have neglected the mid part of the migration map. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for them here. I don't know what it was. I don't want to pinpoint anything. I guess I talked about most of the things, and it's up to you who you are going to regard as the weak link, or what you can decide, what you estimate as the key mistake. But it has been a more than surprising but also impressive performance of Heresy over here, especially with LAN, who has helped out greatly here, together with the other strongly performing players. So congrats to them, and they will march forward in this tournament.